Nobody's here.
Hi, it's me, Brandon, and I love a Hallmark passport, the movie.
Hey, it's me, Brian. I like the Hallmark passport, the movie.
Hey, it's me, Dan, and I despise the Hallmark passport, the movies. And
This is
the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Honk, honk. Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody.
You keep saying, Brandon, one of these days that's going to be offensive.
Yes.
And
When?
how is it not? Like we've had this conversation before, but I don't think so. I think Italians love it. I think they love it. It's like playful ribbing.
Yes.
They love it.
I saw Playful Ribbing live, by the way.
Did you really?
Really good.
Interesting.
Really good. They did pull one over on you, but it's fine.
There's a Southern accent that's playful ribbing.
Yeah.
And then there's like the Jonathan Shapiro Southern, which is like he's really trying to make us all sound like we're idiots.
Yes.
But he believes it too. So,
Like if I was like, I'm an Italian, I'm a dummy, like that would be really bad.
Right.
I would never do that. But
No.
you have to do this though, right?
Yeah,
you
you
can't
throw
ever
off
even
the-
make,
No, you can't.
there's nothing you can do unless you have your
Happy half miss to everybody.
Happy
Leon
Halfmas.
Day.
You hate that name.
Halfway to Christmas. How are we feeling?
I feel the same
Chris-
as I did without this being a thing.
Christmas in July is upon
Whatever.
us.
I can't
It's
believe
a fake
it.
holiday.
I can't believe it.
It's not it's not a holiday. It's just it's a
that's
marking.
what it is.
It's a marking.
It's Bramblefest month. That's how I know it.
yes.
It's not Bramblefest
It's
month.
Bramblefest
It's
month.
June.
It's almost
It's
Bramblefest
still June.
month.
But it's going to be Christmas you said
It's-
Christmas in July.
Is upon us.
Yeah, is upon us.
Yeah.
So for me, July isn't
Bramblefest.
Isn't
Christmas in July.
in July.
It's Bramblefest month.
Guys, we got a new letter in the mail from
Linda Ring?
which is very exciting.
Yeah, man, it takes so long to get letters through the mail. If only there was a quicker like electronic mail.
I want to say
That'll never take off.
Okay.
No, Linda, don't change.
Rom-coms can come true, is what she said about this. Now, this is nice. This is the real
can't be the-
deal.
Shocking
this one.
and tragic.
This is. Did she not send
think
any
it's
other
this.
letter? No, there's no more explanations.
This
about,
is shocking and tragic.
Okay.
The thing that's shocking and tragic is When Calls the Heart actress Mamie Lavrock's
okay.
family plans to take legal action against the Vancouver hospital. in
Oh,
which
and
the
that's-
actress
shocking.
narrowly survived a 5-story balcony fall
As they
in
should.
26.
Did you hear
How'd
about
that
this?
happen?
This is some
I
pretty
didn't
serious
hear
stuff. Some pretty
shocking
serious
and
stuff.
tragic.
Yeah, we're not going to get into the weeds on that one.
No, we're not.
It's
Thanks
not.
for pointing it out, though, Linda.
Yeah.
How about
there
this
with
one,
the
though?
Post-it
Rom-coms can come true. Bradley Cooper and Gigi
don't we know it?
Hadid. World Romance became very serious, as source tells us. They started dating. That's good. And then Stephen and Kate coupled up co-stars. After this is the one that she cares about, I see. After playing love interest in Hallmark Channel's 2023 rom-com A Royal Christmas Crush, Katie Cassidy and Stephen Hazar couldn't deny real-life chemistry. It caught us by surprise, Cassidy 37 tells us. The magazine.
Thank you.
I never really thought I'd date another actor. He's incredible. We're very happy. The actress teased that she'd be open to an engagement with the 40-year-old man.
Wink, wink.
Whoa. What a like he's gonna read that and be like, you're open to it. Like, what does that
are you
mean?
trying to say?
You're open to it. Who gives props to the network that brought them together? Cupid is the right word for it. He adds, "Thank you, Hallmark. We're grateful for you." So there you go.
Thanks,
Linda,
Linda.
thank you so much for
your
thinking
monthly
of us.
update from
So thoughtful.
Linda. I don't
For
know
people
if
that think this is a bit, I know we occasionally dabble in the bits. This, not a bit. Linda, we are pen pals with Linda.
we're pen pals with Linda. We never send anything back. We just
Have we?
send.
We have.
We
No,
have
we-
sent
yes,
a Christmas
we do.
card. Is that
Yes.
correct? And then we sent back something else.
I
Didn't
think
we?
I sent stickers.
Yeah.
But if not,
We've
I'll
sent
send more
stuff.
We
stickers.
sent stuff.
Yes.
But we need to start sending like
We're participants.
we could
in
like
this.
any mail that we get. We should just send it
Send
to
it
her
to her?
too. Like I don't want her to be left out.
No.
No.
Because what she gets in Washington is totally different than what we get here in South
That's
Florida.
how news works.
Yes, that's how news works.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting.
One of these days, we're going to have something that connects us all. Like a
gonna be
worldwide,
amazing.
like,
Some type of like,
thing.
like strings attached.
Yeah. Some
Dots.
yeah.
Dots.
Like a
Like-
worldwide canopy, maybe.
That's
think
a perfect way. Yeah.
What about
What about Canopy?
I picture that.
The WWC.
Yeah.
Everybody would type in WWC
C dot.
and then they would go to
Whatever
their
they're-
thing. Yeah.
I think the
for.
closest thing we have is Philo.
I think so.
Because
They
you
are
can
getting
travel the world on Philo.
you can.
You could set up a projector, connect it to Philo, and travel the world.
Without leaving your house.
Without leaving
Yeah.
your house.
Yep.
You totally can do that.
amazing.
And you can hop into the tour bus that is the Philo Deep Dive with Dan and I. Each week we travel the world of Philo and find some new shows that you
Yeah,
should
we
be
do.
watching. Occasionally we forget that we've covered a show and we do it again.
That happens in a couple weeks. I
Happens,
believe, on
it's
the
hard to
Deep
say
Dive.
though.
Yes.
We would never, but
wouldn't
you
do
know,
it on purpose.
we're 50 weeks deep at this point.
That's right. We're over a year. Over a year of Philo Deep Dives.
We should
Impressive.
we
pretty
should
good.
start doing because I covered a show. This is coming in a couple weeks. I covered a show over a year later. Dan covers it, and
right.
so I should start doing that with some of your stuff too.
You should.
Stuff that
Just to
intrigues
see
me.
if it holds
If
up.
it works
for
for me, I don't know.
love
Let's see if this week's movie worked out for us.
you. You guys
It
ready
is-
to be done with the passports?
I am.
Yeah.
I think. Are we
Yeah.
done after? I think we're
This is
done
it.
now, right? Yeah,
Next
that was
week's
it.
Christmas.
So we head back to.
Rob's doing some Christmas next week,
That's
right?
exactly right. We're heading into Christmas in
Boy.
July, which, by the way, we have a preview show this Thursday, which is very exciting.
Finally, back to the season.
We are
right?
previewing
Let's
with-
freaking
on
go.
Thursday. We're previewing
A
3.
June movie for not the June preview.
It's a for the July movies
Yeah.
and one June movie
It sneaks
that
away.
we didn't get
It's
to
the
preview.
July movies and one June movie preview episode,
Yes.
the ones we always do.
And it's 3 Christmas movies and a signed seal delivered. So it's like very
Here I
themes.
am.
It's the natural. It's the most thematic we ever get.
Ever get. Yeah.
Ever get.
3 Christmas movies and a signed seal.
And
That's the
I-
whole preview?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
cannot wait.
I mean,
We're
there's
doing an
other
episode
movies
out
that
of
we're covering, but they're older movies.
older.
It's like
There's
I don't
nothing
know
we
if
can do.
we could do it. We could do another preview where we just preview the old movies that we're going to be.
Let's
reviewing.
not.
That's just a
Let's
thought.
not rule it
I'm
out.
not
Let's not
previewing
rule it out.
old movies.
We shouldn't rule it out. You're
We
never
should.
gonna redo the old movies you've already done, right?
We would never do it.
No, we wouldn't do that. Let's talk 2 scoops, shall we? 2 scoops of Italy.
Okay.
2 scoops of Italy.
We
2
got.
tickets.
Yeah,
Two-
I got it. That's
We
money.
got 2 scoops. We got 2 scoops of Italy.
It's a really good job, guys. I know we worked on it in there for like 20 minutes, but that was better than any of our takes in there.
Hard work.
You got
no.
the takes?
All right, guys, I got an idea. What if we do,
Not again,
2 tickets to
2 tickets
paradise?
for Eddie
Yeah,
Money.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
you can use that.
Remember?
song.
Thank you. Oh, I
no
can
problem.
mention his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Great.
We do 2 scoops
Thank
of
you.
Italy. What if
2
we do that?
scoops to
Let's
Italy?
try it.
How would we
1, 2,
even-
5, 9.
2
scoops
scoops
to
to Italy.
One more time.
That's pretty good.
8, 9, 7. 2 scoops
scoops
to
to
Italy.
No, I went high that time.
So we actually nailed it on the show.
We did. To get it right on the show after that.
June 22nd, 2024, and it would a little something like this. 1 year ago, Chef Danielle Turner opened a restaurant, but it lacked inspiration. Those aren't my words. I didn't review the restaurant itself. So a month ago, she temporarily shuts down so that she can redo everything and finally come up with some food that is actually inspired. Her friend and financial backer, Owen, decides to give her 1 more month to figure this thing out and come up with the menu that will save the restaurant. So she decides that this is the perfect time for a vacation, an inspiration vacation, an vacation.
2 scoops to paradise.
Italy. Dang it.
Lost it.
She's heading to Italy. If she can't get inspired in Italy, where can she get inspired? That's what I'm wondering. She immediately stops at a cafe for coffee. For cafe.
For
It's
cafe.
For cafe.
Cafe.
She stops at the cafe for the cafe and directions and meets a hunky local named Giancarlo. I'll call him GC.
Giancarlo?
GC, are you with me?
Oh, yeah, we got gelato ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you did. And she immediately gives unwanted feedback. She immediately gives unwanted feedback on that gelato, Dan.
Yes, she does.
And he's like, who do you think you are? I am. But then...
What are you doing in my cafe?
But then... Too soon, man. But then he actually follows her...
Have you heard?
But then he actually follows her advice. But then
That's
he...
what they say to
Let's say what it is. That's right.
Unfortunately.
But then he actually follows her advice. And she was right the whole time about how to make gelato better. And
She wasn't just yoking around.
Man.
that's good, man.
Oh, boy.
Man.
It's really good.
People can
Scoops.
Italy. People can say what they egg about you. You know what I mean?
They can go to Shell.
Oh!
Okay, all right, we're back.
Scramble, omelet, fry it, sunny side. So, he tells her like, "Hey, great,
It was good, but it was a little
Great work.
easy.
So, she's basically like, I can help you make the best gelato in the world if you want me to. I have time.
Yeah,
And so
I don't need to find inspiration.
they basically spend, that's the mission of the movie, is to make the perfect gelato. And it's also just them hanging out and stuff, doing a lot of
Riding
walking
bikes.
and stuff. They go to take some olive oil. Popeye, maybe you've heard of him.
I've heard.
And they almost kiss, but then they decide to put olive oil in the gelato, and it works. It's a spicy gelato. And it works real good. They love it. And he takes it to the people, and the people love it. And so that's good. To celebrate, GC, are you with me? Shows Danielle that he loves slideshows. Danielle gets a call from her investor. The deadline has moved up to the end of the week. So now she's all freaking out. She's starting to pull away from GC. Are you with me?
Oh, yeah.
And GC is now sad. He's a sad sack. He's kind of moping around. And his dad is like, hey, bud,
like a puddle.
let's talk, man. I don't know how to tell you this. We have no desire for you to stay here and take
Right.
over the family business.
Didn't
In
even, I
fact,
named you so you would leave.
we did everything
Take the
in
hint.
our power as parents to make it to where you would get the hint without us saying it to you that we don't want you here.
He couldn't even do that.
He didn't get the hint. So now he knows that his parents don't want him to take over the family cafe, and they want him to, fly, stop looking at the projector and go and live.
Let someone else use the projector for once.
That's right. So he goes to find
Dan
Danny.
the pro.
That's right. So he goes to find Danielle, which he does, and she's crying while riding a bike without a helmet on, which is so messed up,
Oh, my
man.
gosh.
Like think about
Yeah, anyone.
think about
aside
the
from
message.
yourself. Yeah.
Think about the
that's it.
message
Yeah,
that you're putting
you're
out
right.
there. And he's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I really want us to spend the rest of our lives together. Basically, would you be open to staying here?" And she's like, "Actually, totally get what you're saying. I don't want to. I'm gonna go
Yes,
back.
correct.
I
Yeah.
have, my
Stateside.
stuff going on there." So, but they agree. We're going to just enjoy the time that we have together here. So she shows up for the Friday afternoon outdoor extravaganza. GC impresses her with his weird idea of children's games. And then she tells him that she's going to pivot the restaurant. It's going to be a cafe, a cafe. And maybe you can come, maybe even you move to America,
come to New
maybe
York,
even gelato,
gelato
maybe
over
even
here.
other flavors.
Even work together, live
Maybe-
together.
Maybe even love each other. Maybe even buy our own projector.
Maybe even nothing could possibly go wrong with this plan.
And he's like, I love that idea. And they kiss and probably eat gelato. And that, my friends, was Two Scoops of Italy.
Back.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going
Always
to come
save
back.
our best for the pod. You know what I mean?
I know. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about Two Scoops of Italy here on Deck the Hallmark.
We're professionals.
You know Christmas in July is close when the Christmas turtle's kind of peeking
right.
out.
Christmas turtle's out. He made his way out.
He's peeking.
There he
He's
is.
peeking through the old
May flowers.
the old springtime flowers.
Springtime flowers?
Springtime
Yeah,
flowers.
springtime. We're in spring now.
We're post summer solstice at this point, right? It's been 100 degrees all week.
Yeah,
I don't know what to
sure
tell you,
has,
man. These flowers,
They're good. No,
they're
no.
lasting longer. They're lasting longer than
Yeah.
you would think.
The GMOs are off the
They're out of
charts.
control.
Yeah.
What are we feeding them
Yeah.
these days? Turtle, how are you, bud?
Oh, how you doing? It's me, Turtle. I don't get called too often, but you know what? You are in Italy, and that's a peninsula.
What's
Oh, peninsula. There's water everywhere. Water everywhere. Water everywhere. Water everywhere. Water everywhere. Water everywhere. Water everywhere.
Have
I gotta
you-
go. Swim, 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 swim,
somebody
swim,
gonna
swim,
kiss?
swim,
Uh-oh.
swim, swim, swim. Yeah. There's a big thing going on the other side of town. Somebody's gonna propose.
Whoa. Get over there.
Interesting.
Gotta make sure I'm there. Don't want it to go wrong. Sometimes it goes sideways on you. You know what I mean, Brad?
No.
I gotta go.
It's time to talk about 2 scoops.
You want to talk about the first time you tried to propose by the water?
By the water?
By the water. I was there. I saw the whole thing.
If
Anybody
anybody
went wrong.
If anybody knows me, they know that I would not
by the water.
even come close to the water on the biggest day of my
This
life.
is why. Swim, 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 swim.
Have a good one.
I gotta go.
Started here.
My Bluetooth is bumping.
2 scoops of Italy is what we're talking
What
about
does
today.
he mean? His
bumping.
Bluetooth is bumping.
It's bumping, man.
It's
I don't know what that means.
His Bluetooth's bumping. You go swimming with Bluetooth and you'd understand.
And you know, it's bumping.
It's bumping. It's time to talk about 2 scoops of Italy. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie, and we're not going to hold back. Brian, don't hold back. And we're going to start with
Just a reminder.
Brian. Brian, what'd you think of
2
scoops
of Italy?
Dude, you sat there for a year and a half.
Like that time you
What
proposed
were
near the
you
water.
what were you waiting for
Boy.
when your proposal went sideways?
Sorry, guys.
Sideways. Turtle nose.
Brian?
Yeah, I was going to hold back, but now that you said it out
I've
loud.
instructed you not to.
I was not 100% sure what even gelato was. Like my whole life, I've just kind of assumed.
What's kind of its deal?
Yeah, like what is it? Like why is it so different and such a big deal?
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you had it before?
I don't think I've ever even had gelato.
I said this while we were watching the movie. I've never had gelato in Italy. So it could be magical.
Could be.
I've had gelato in every major city in the United States that I can think of. Like I've had it. I literally.
Such a
Sick
crazy
brag,
thing to
man.
say.
It is, but it is like
Every major city.
well
Name a city.
that I've been
Phoenix.
to. Like
been to.
so, like Los Angeles, New York,
Seattle.
I had it in Atlanta. I had it in Seattle. Yes,
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
We didn't get gelato there,
No, I
did
don't know
we?
if that's a big city. That's like a middle America city. When I say big, I'm talking like New York, LA,
And you don't like
Atlanta,
the big cities.
Seattle.
You're more of
no,
like
I
a
was,
small
yeah,
town.
look, I have
and you-
nothing against it though.
Well, it sounded a little shady there.
All I'm
what
saying
you're
is gelato's fine.
Why are you against small?
I'm not-
Why are you against a small town gelato?
Have you had small time gelato?
I haven't had small town gelato.
Okay.
Maybe that's my problem.
That might be.
I'm just
Interesting.
saying I've never thought gelato was elevated over ice cream or frozen custard. Like whenever I have it, I'm like, okay,
Sure. Yeah,
Like I've never been like, oh my gosh. But I've never been to Italy.
Yeah.
Producer Erin's been to Italy. She was like, I eat gelato every day. I maybe I just am missing like that.
Yeah.
But I went to like in Los Angeles, like highly, I don't remember the name of it. Highly recommended gelato place. My wife was raving about it. It was really good. But I never was like, I would sell ice cream and never see it again for gelato. I've never been there.
What makes it different than
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
the cream of
I know frozen custard has a higher fat content.
Aaron, do you know the
than
answer
ice
to
cream.
this?
Like, what's the
before
diff?
I let Dan just kind of fumble his way
Ramble and
through
figure it
Yeah.
out.
the difference between gelato and ice cream?
Like, what's the diff?
Gelato comes from heaven. I don't really know.
Okay, great. None of us know.
that is a
We're
difference.
all just pushing this lie
Maybe
along.
it's like
that
real
there's
fruit.
a difference.
It starts with real fruit.
Is that what it is?
In the
Maybe.
chat,
Is it ice cream fruit?
several people are talking about the gelato shop in downtown Greenville, Luna Rosa. It is good. I don't think, and everybody says that is like legit gelato.
Okay.
in
Gelato
Greenville.
contains less milk fat than ice cream,
Maybe
is
that's the
churned at
problem.
a slower rate, and is typically served at a warmer temperature, introducing less air to the desserts.
That's right.
And yielding a softer and
denser
denser
texture. That's right.
texture.
Okay.
Yes.
Frozen custard, meanwhile, is always made with egg yolks and is often made in a machine that introduces
richer.
very little air.
Maybe that's my issue is I just like the richer texture.
Can
Yeah,
I
but you're
ask
an
you
upper
guys a
crust
quick
kinda guy,
question,
so-
though, about the air? How am I
Sure.
supposed to breathe without air?
That's a good
That's a
question.
tough one,
Brown.
man. They're strangling this gelato.
Yeah.
That's the problem with
I
gelato.
mean,
So a big thing was just I don't really know what the deal is. Unfortunately, all these movies are measured against Savoring Paris. They don't hold a candle to it. This was pretty boring. The whole time I'm like, whoa, tone it down. Like we're walking up a castle, we're tasting olive oil, we're going to a farmer's market. Are you kidding me? It was just so.
That's why you go to
like-
Italy.
Yeah, I guess. Just I guess. So I was just kind of like, okay, we're just a whole lot of gelato. Like we were really working on it.
Whole lot of gelato.
Whole lot of
Whole lot of
We were really
gelato.
working on the gelato. Like I thought it might take a back seat to the romance development, but it was like gelato
But
full frontal.
This is this is
Gelato
the
full
opposite of
Yeah.
this is what you've been asking for. You want more cookie.
That's right.
You
And
want
then
more
there
of the
wasn't
thing.
You're not
cooking.
happy.
They weren't doing a lot of like experiment. Like they experimented like one time.
They really
were
don't.
in the kitchen.
They don't. Yes, you're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
like
they
if
don't
they-
actually
Don't I
do
know it.
much of figuring out restaurant or gelato
yeah,
in this movie. They
like the
don't.
details. I had to rewind it to find out the flavor of that gelato. I'm like, what are they doing to this? Because they just breeze past all the details.
What is it? It's a white cream,
It's like a hazelnut,
it's
olive
oil,
mint.
mint,
Um,
strawberries.
oh no, it's what's the middle cannoli? Middle.
The middle cannoli.
The middle cannoli middle.
What's the middle of the cannoli?
You rang.
Oh, you're not the middle
No.
of the cannoli.
I'm
I
the middle
don't think.
cannoli.
What is that called? The cream in the cannoli.
I'm here.
Oh, what is your name?
I'm James Cannoli, the middle
so
cannoli.
It was a James cannoli with mint
Not
and
of the
hazelnut.
family.
What?
Oh,
different altogether.
Oh,
but
man.
we've got him now.
Yeah, what's
Thanks
going
for
on? What do you
showing
want to
up,
know?
man. Oh, we're roast. You big gelato fan?
I don't know what it
You
is.
don't,
No.
you don't know what that is.
No.
Okay, so you more ice
My
cream.
dad's a mob boss.
a mob boss.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you supposed to talk about that?
I realize I
Mars Capone?
said too soon.
Okay.
Is that
Mars
what the
Go-
middle of that is?
I think that's right. But I think-
Ricotta?
yeah, I think. they
Okay,
said
I'll go now.
it was-
Bye.
oh, hey, thanks a lot, Mr. Cannoli.
You guys don't
Thanks.
seem to want to talk
It's
to
one
me
of our
today.
better
Yeah.
guests that we've
Yeah,
ever
he
had
was
is
super
James
helpful.
Cannoli.
But I think it was
It was
like
a great
cannoli.
time for a guest. Everything about it was
He had
wonderful.
lots of helpful
It was
information.
as good as we've
Well,
ever
I'm
been.
just
he
saying-
sold out his dad.
Yes.
In his defense, you don't bring up middle cannoli and then like expect him not to
The
show up.
middle child of the
thought
cannoli
you were gonna
family.
be
Yeah,
like- not you, of course.
middle cannoli
James
boy.
Cannoli, the guest, was going to be more like a talking cannoli. Like, I'm middle cannoli.
No, in
Yeah.
fact, no.
He's
No,
the middle
he's the
child
middle
of the
child.
And his
cannoli,
dad is a mob
Yes.
boss.
Of the famous mob family, the cannoli family.
which is going down. I assume
They are
now,
going down.
Unfortunately, so yeah, it was like a cannoli hazelnut mint thing,
Cool.
gelato.
This was
With
still Brian's
olive oil.
hot take.
yeah, I think so.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Aaron.
That was the one that didn't work. The dragon fruit
Yeah,
did
the
not
dragon
work.
fruit didn't work, but they were going to add like cocoa nibs to it, and then somehow we got hazelnut. Were they adding that to the ricotta?
I think it was a whole different thing.
I think the point of this is we don't know what is
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah. So they didn't really work through it.
It's called Mussolini, though. I know that.
Yeah, Mussolini song, right?
Psalm Life.
Anyway, yeah, it was just whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian. It was indeed whatever. I think they overestimated my affinity for gelato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that obviously this movie was made for me, and so just some feedback. Overestimated my love of gelato. Seeing as how I didn't know what it was,
Right.
that was something. I would have liked to balance the scales here a little bit between gelato and figuring out, like her actually putting an effort to fix the menu. Like I think she only makes one dish that we see over
Yeah.
there. So I would have liked to have seen more of that, and maybe they do the things together or something. I don't know,
would've
but
been
it was a
nice.
lot of just kind of like walking up like alleyways and
And
whatnot.
riding bikes.
And riding bikes,
You know,
and
the
et
good
cetera.
stuff.
Recklessly.
And you know, but to their credit, seemed very authentic. Like especially the family, the leads, they seemed to be authentically Italian, and so that's always good. It was fine. Let's go back to Paris. Dan?
Yeah, I think it's savoring Paris and all the other ones for sure. This might be the best of the other three. I mean, I hated this movie.
I
But
couldn't tell you the other.
there was a Greek one that I really
Loves
didn't
Greek
like.
to me.
Oh, right.
And then there was a Malta one.
Oh, the Andrew with the honey.
Oh
Love and
yeah,
Honey.
the
Oh,
Honey
yeah.
Andrew Walker one.
Yeah, this one I think is better than those two movies.
think you're right.
And I hate
think
to
you're
say
right.
that out loud, but it is. Italy looks beautiful. I love Hunter King.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of this movie, woof. They spend a lot of time doing absolutely nothing. And I get it. That's the vibe they're going for. It's Italy. It's passport month. I understand. But if you're going to sit there and say, I've got to this isn't a vacation. I've got to figure out my restaurant, and this guy's got to figure out his gelato, and you basically, for the most part of the movie, don't do either of those things, just tough. I wasn't inspired to travel to Italy any more than I already am. Yeah, not a lot to hang your hat on here, but better than the Greek movie and the Honey movie for what that's worth in the rankings. It's not worth a lot, but for what it's worth, it's better than those two.
There you go.
Thanks.
Let's get to all the feels. We're talking about what this movie gives us feels, Brian.
Yeah, we got a nice shout out to Hingham, Massachusetts.
Shout out.
Obviously. And I like there was something I liked in this that stood out. Usually I don't quote lines that I hear in the movie, but he said, "Never let success go to your head. Never let failure go to your heart." And I thought that was really great advice. But how? That's where I get.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? How are we
it's
not?
easy to talk about, but what about doing
great
it?
line, but like, come on, like
Practically
how
speaking.
are we doing this? Yeah, literally, like
You took out your notepad.
That's
You're
right.
ready.
You're like, I'm ready.
I'm waiting for more. Like,
How do I
okay,
let
so
failure
how do
not
we
go to
not?
my heart?
How? I don't know. I guess it's probably a lot of practice, but good advice. It sounds great. That's a great line.
It sounds great. Yes.
Yeah. No, so that was for me.
Oh, man. You know,
Did I take yours? I'm sorry. I took yours, didn't I, Brad?
Yeah, Hang a Mass is dope, first of all. No, I don't really have any in this movie. Nothing really tugged at the old heartstrings. Aside from, did I find the bit about the biggest food critic being a child, was it funny to me? Maybe a little bit. Dano?
This movie weirdly reminded me of Luca, Disney Pixar's Luca. I think it was the bike riding and the kids eating the food.
Yeah, I'll say Luca's my feels.
Luca
it's
is
a good movie.
You're stealing it, huh?
That's
You're
a good
just taking
movie.
it right. Yeah.
Feels theft.
Luca is a vastly underrated Pixar movie. It is an absolute triumph. My kids love it. You should go check it out. So there you go.
I also thought about Encanto a lot during this movie for some reason.
What?
Let's take a
Well,
quick break. Sorry, what was that,
We
Aaron?
shouldn't talk
Well, because
about.
Encanto is filmed in Italy,
That's right.
just like
That's right.
That's
Encanto,
That's exactly
very
why.
similar. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
That's the reason.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to
No,
talk about
we
it.
can't.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll get to the Wait What with the Hallmark here on Takeover. How many fingers do you have? You have 10?
Yeah. Wild.
This is what we're supposed to. No.
Yeah, hey, everybody, welcome back.
Oh,
Take the Hallmark. We're talking about 2 scoops of Italy, the final passport movie before we stamp our passport to the North Pole.
No.
Let's do a little something called the Wait What. It's where we share what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Brian?
Yeah. That just basically the whole premise of her investor saying your menu's uninspired. You have a clock on you for my money. I'm taking it and going home, going elsewhere. So go ahead and go to Italy. Just stress me out. That's not how you handle pressure from work. You can't just run to Italy. I couldn't.
If she can go to Italy and running a small business, then she doesn't really probably need his money.
Yeah. And like if you just
For a month?
And if you have a restaurant and you've been open a year and you're like, all right, we're just going to shut down until we figure it out.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
You're doing great.
You're
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You're either doing phenomenal. You've done great or you are
It's one
not.
or the other.
It's such a bad, like you just got to keep going. Like keep changing your menu. Like it's just I hated that part of it. The fact that she's like, well, I guess I'll just shut down my restaurant and disappear and just figure it out. So, but I know you got to get over to Italy, and that's how they did it. He just seems like the wrong type of investor for her. Like if you got somebody who's investing and he's just going to pull his money at any moment, you can't live like that.
That character is a wait what.
I didn't understand his whole deal.
We've dealt a little bit with investors in our time doing this as a job, and investors just don't operate like that.
No.
They don't give you money and then all of a sudden go,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to need a month.
Yep.
And then in that month go, you know what? Now it's 2 weeks. The reverse is kind of true. It's like,
Right.
when you get money, if it's going well or poorly, they'll come around again and they'll go, hey, do you want me to re-up? I've got other investments I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That's how investment works, especially with any strings attached to it. So this is like it seems personal.
Yeah.
It seems like he just doesn't like her anymore. And he wants to be inspired again the way it's like a relationship. It's like he wants to break up with her. It's not like an investment at all. Whereas the thing about investment is you want to see your money make money.
Yeah.
You don't want to just throw it down the drain. And if he pulls, then his money's done.
Yeah, you lose it. So
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I couldn't get over that part of it.
And and his whole thing with like my dad told me, basically he's like, my dad said so. And I'm like, so that's basically what the Hallmark, because I could not figure that guy out. And then The guy says, if Nico likes it, everyone else will too. Like the 9-year-old only likes strawberry.
That's it.
Like, so you can't say that.
They're running a whole business off of one 9-year-old.
Strawberry.
Who could change his mind every day
And
about everything else.
Yes. So Danny wears high heels to climb a castle. And like for whatever else she was going to do that day, she was in like these high heel sandals. And usually I don't care or notice, but I just saw.
Yeah, we all noticed.
Yeah, I bet.
It was,
Listen, who are we?
Maybe that's fine and comfortable, but
comment
I
on
can't.
when
I'm not
or
going to tell any lead character that they can or can't walk.
I know I wouldn't.
I wouldn't choose
in high heels. I would never do that, and Bram would never do that. But that's why we got you.
Yeah, right. So I just think that was a tough choice for a day of she had a pre-packed itinerary.
She did.
So that's a quite a commitment. Did
you like the heels though?
They look cool.
Okay.
Yeah, nice sandal high heel. Very cool looking. Alita,
I would listen to a Brian Harold fashion podcast.
talking about the bag.
Yes.
I don't know if I got a good look at her bag, the accessory, but the heels were great. Alita, the woman, like where she was staying, her friend there in the house,
yes.
Alita, she called the place a tourist town, and I don't know if she was joking.
I didn't see any tourists but her.
Not a single tourist.
Not a one.
She's like, in a tourist town like this. So I don't know if it was a joke, but it didn't seem like a joke, and the place just did not seem like a tourist town. And finally, the gall, if I dare say, for her to show up in Italy and make a lasagna for the locals to enjoy. It was just like,
boy.
And then not to like even explain, just be like, I made you a lasagna, enjoy. Like
if you came down here when you moved down here and just brought me fried chicken,
I would be like, and I got these boiled peanuts. Hey,
who is this guy?
Got some chitlins here.
Who is this guy?
Who do I think I am?
That's right.
You are.
That's right.
So it was just a move.
It's also especially bold when you're doing it to like people that you're tricking to have a meal together too.
Yeah,
and you only have one,
and we only have one. So it's like,
and you eat it on them.
You got y'all should sit down,
man.
And also, I made what I'm assuming is your favorite food.
Yeah, authentic lasagna.
It's a lasagna.
So that was tough.
So when she's trying to like wrap her mind around some new ideas, she goes home. She finds out that she only has a month left, and she's crossing out some ideas. You know, she's like, "This isn't gonna work." So it's like lamb, crusted in macadamia, and other stuff. And then she just crosses out the word. The words peppercorn sauce. Yeah. Was the sauce gonna be a meal in and of itself? Is she getting rid of the sauce altogether? Like she's like,
get the peppercorn sauce medium rare.
It's like it's like three different like entrees. Right. And then she gets to the peppercorn sauce and she's like, this one too either, which I thought was fun. I'll just give me the peppercorn sauce. That's great. Medium.
Salad on the side.
Yeah, she's like looking at pictures of her restaurant. Like she's like, man, this place is awesome. It's not. Her place stinks compared. Like those pictures womp. Like she's looking at the worst possible pictures of her restaurant. The first one that she looked at was just a picture of a fork. It's such a sad picture, and this is supposed to inspire her.
First fork she ever got.
She's looking at these pictures.
They do womp.
These pictures look like the place has been out of business for years.
They're meant to depress her.
Yeah. She's real. This is a real bummer.
Alexa, show me depressing restaurant pictures.
Speaking of bummer pictures, and just pictures in general, this guy invites her over and says,
"This is absurd.
I got to show you something." And I've never showed anybody this before. And then he proceeds to turn on his projector that he has.
He has a thing for projectors.
He has a thing for projectors, and he shows her a slideshow of different places. And it's like, anytime I want to travel, I just turn on the projector and look at my pictures. And I got to be honest, it was the saddest scene I've ever seen in the history of film. This guy was like...
He breaks out a projector.
Could I look at the pictures on my phone of other places? Maybe. But
also the work it takes. They're new pictures to get those onto a projector so that he can project them on a screen. On his wall.
We also have to do a little bit of the travel work. A little work, just like you do when you actually travel.
I just could, like, it is the year of our Lord 2024. You're dusting off the projector every time you get sad?
This is the best way.
That's why he just keeps it plugged in all the
you
time.
have to.
It's always sad.
At the end of they're at this party, and he takes this thing off of children's toys, and then they like the game
he's
is
the witch. He
He's a
yells a
witch,
color.
and
Yeah.
you yell a color, and the kids have to run around and find a toy of the color. And not only did I feel like that scene lasted too long, I also just don't really understand it. Like, he had this whole like parade float of toys just set up with a thing on it, and then he pulled it. It was really weird. It was really weird.
Apparently, it is a game.
It is a game?
that Aaron looked up.
Okay,
But
great.
What was weird to me is that when he unveils these toys, they all came straight from The Conjuring. Like all of these toys.
Yeah, they did not look.
Are creepy and old and have a demon in them.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have new toys there. He's having them run around and touch like Annabelle dolls. Like it is.
But like, did
terrifying.
he build this platform?
I don't know. It was brutal.
He's had a lot of time
It was tough to watch.
in that little tourist village.
And then last but not least, and I know we do our best around here to follow the words and the, we try to follow the law of
Follow the
Encanto,
words.
of Encanto, and not talk about Bruno. And they
Oh my
they make
gosh.
it really hard in this movie because they talk about Bruno so much, and it was so much of saying the name Bruno and then also saying the line, "Are you talking about Bruno?"
Yeah.
That it's like, what was this on purpose?
Yeah.
Well, are we doing a bid here? Why are we doing a bid here? I thought about Encanto while watching this movie more than I thought about this movie, and I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's what
you
happened.
didn't talk about Bruno in your synopsis, really.
I wouldn't.
So
Yeah,
you
he
wouldn't
would.
talk.
He
We
follows
don't. We
the
don't.
rule.
We
He
don't
follows
do
the
that.
words.
Yeah,
And the rule
I
of
was
the
under the
words.
impression we don't talk
don't
about
talk
it, and then
about
here
Bruno.
we are. Dano.
Yeah. So my first wait what has nothing to do with this movie, aside from the fact that in the opening credits they're showing, they show some establishing shots of Italy when she travels to Italy, and it's like the Colosseum, right? And after seeing the Colosseum, Bran goes, "So we're in Paris again?" He says that, and I'm like,
It's a funny joke, Brent.
"No, like it's Italy," and he's like, "I don't know these things," and I'm like, "I get it. I'm not really big on landmarks either, but the Colosseum is pretty distinctly like Roman, like it is." And then Bran said this line, "Well, you could have easily convinced me Italy was in Paris," and it wasn't a joke. He said that as a sincere geographist. He said, "You could have convinced me. You could have convinced me Italy was in Paris."
So what's the wait? What?
I think we covered it.
Yeah.
Hunter King gets to Italy and goes in the cafe for directions. Thank God for good directions and turnip greens. Am I right, buddy?
man.
And they meet a guy who's sitting there.
Billy Carrington for y'all.
That's right. There's a guy sitting there, and he's sitting and drinking his coffee, and they're like, "We call him the Frog."
Ooh.
And I'm like,
Oh,
"All
I
right,
didn't catch that.
we call him the Frog." Oh, you do? Why do you call him the Frog? It's because he likes to sit when he's drinking his coffee. And apparently people in Italy, they stand in cafes. All well and good. Are frogs known? Like, frogs' whole thing is jumping, right? Like, a frog's distinctive feature is
Well,
they talk
they
about
rib it.
Budweiser, they rib it,
Yeah.
and they jump.
They do weird tongue stuff.
They do
They do
weird
catch-
tongue
well,
stuff.
catch
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
They do weird tongue stuff.
Yeah,
they
Could
sure
have
do,
convinced
Brent.
him Italy was in France or in Paris. And
Is the weird tongue
so,
stuff like this?
if
Like,
he just sits all the time,
Come on, man.
why do they call him Frog? Because he sits and drinks his cafe and then hops randomly, or he does weird tongue stuff.
Bud.
Like
It could be the tongue stuff.
the nickname
But that guy gets
didn't
free.
match.
Bud.
Wise.
Zer.
Yeah. I didn't understand where they were going. They're like, and we are supposed to think that all makes sense. No, they call him the Frog because he sits down to drink his coffee. You get it, right? No, I do not. I do not get it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, no other animals sit.
That's right. Frog's the only one that sits, and then
The rest
other
stand,
animals
yeah.
that do sit don't notoriously leap up in the air. So there's that. I didn't get that at all. It is really bold for someone who's new in town to give their incredibly distinct,
Middle cannoli?
devastating review of someone's gelato that they've slaved over. Like, this woman, you don't know this woman. She's a tourist. She walks in. He's like, "Try some of my gelato." She's like, "Nah, is there yolk? I don't know. Usually the flavors are more balanced." Blah, blah, blah. Like, all of what you're saying is true. You just met this person. Like,
I met him.
I don't even, like, you would have to maybe establish some sort of like relationship and proof that you know what you're
Rapport.
talking about.
Rapport, yep.
Yeah, rapport. You need rapport for sure. If nothing else, you
Rapport.
Rapport.
I know they try to
It's
have
a
a
frog.
Frog. That's why they call you Frog.
Rapport. That's right.
Rapport.
Bud, Wise.
Zer.
No, you were supposed to say
Rapport.
rapport. There it is. Of course. And so
Two
yeah.
scoops of it. Two scoops of Italy.
Rapport.
Bud.
Rap.
Dude, you know what is very relevant? More relevant than the WhatsApp guys. Are the Budweiser
Projectors with
frogs.
the pictures. Oh yeah.
Budweiser frogs from 30 years ago. Those,
Coming back.
yeah.
We forgot. Everybody forgot.
That's right. I know they say a lot in this
Hashtag never
movie
forget.
to write it off, but everyone in this town speaks only English.
Yeah. Yeah,
95%
obviously.
of the time.
Obviously.
We're gone are the days. There was like a 1 year span where Hallmark really put some time behind cultural like stuff, like subtitles.
Yeah.
Hi,
They
Aaron.
talk about the
hey.
lasagna. Go ahead.
No, so I missed this. I did see a comment in the Facebook group on Saturday night saying, well, at least this movie has a reason for why they all speak English. So when I watched it, I listened for that and I didn't hear anything. But somewhere in the chat does say that when they're talking about it being a tourist town, the friend who owns the cottage says that's why we all speak English is for all the
Yeah.
tourists.
So I said,
They do explain why
I
they do
said
it.
at the beginning of the way, what? I know they put a line in there.
Yeah.
And they put a line in there because otherwise it would make zero sense whatsoever, like it still does with one line in there. Like that's my thing is like, you can't just decide everyone in town speaks English.
Or highlight the whole page.
Yeah, it's a highlight the whole page situation. I can't. No, use subtitles, guys. We can do it. We can read subtitles, right?
Yes.
Some of us can.
Yeah, I actually watch most of my TV with captions on.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. That's a great divide. I never want
don't
one
like it
unless
either.
it's a foreign film.
Well,
Like, I
it
don't-
was it was a preference of my wife, and at first I hated it, and now I really like it, and I'm actually ruined by it now because I
Yeah.
couldn't understand this movie.
Yeah, it's one of these things where
a
I think
crutch.
I hate it. Unless it is unless I need them for a different language, I just don't want them on. But this movie, I just couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over it, like, because there was like a year there when we would see subtitles and families talking in their, native language, and it was wonderful. The bells ring in the middle of the night when someone gets married. Kindly kick rocks. I do not have the time nor the inclination to be awakened every night to celebrate your marital vows. Sorry, not sorry. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
I want to sleep.
Keep your marriage, your proposals, your vows to yourself.
All of it. I don't.
Turtle, do you agree with that? I
The
feel
middle
like
of
as
the
a
night?
proponent of love, Turtle.
Oh,
We don't want it.
baby.
Would it bother
swim,
you?
Swim, swim. Sorry, my Bluetooth was rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, fumbling.
We heard.
If the bells would go out in the middle
I
of the
work
night,
nights. I work nights all the time. I don't complain none. I just go get it done. Swim, 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 swim. That's what I got to do right now. I just got buzzed. Swim, 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 swim,
work
swim, swim,
ethic
swim,
right
swim.
there.
maybe we'll see
This
you
guy's
soon.
on one knee. I'm going to be late. I wasn't late. I got there in time. Swim, 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 swim.
All right, God bless. Did he say
Successful.
yes?
She said yes. Swim, 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 swim. Thank you for your applause. Hold your applause. Thank you for your applause. Hold it. Thank you for your applause. Hold your applause. Swim, 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 swim. Thank you for your applause. How you doing?
He's great at
How you
this. He's
doing?
really good at this.
All right, thanks, Turtle. Dan, you got any more?
Weird movie for him to come back for. No, I don't. We're good. We'll save it.
Thanks, Dan. It's time for What the Hallmark. That's where we what
fingers
could have been.
still.
Maybe have
10
some clearing
still got
questions
all
we
10.
still have. Brian, what are you still wondering about, pal?
Yeah, a big one was that her investor friend, like, what's his deal? I feel like a lot of my confusion, like a little more backstory on him and why his dad is controlling all the. Does he work for his dad for an investment firm?
Yeah,
And
that guy's weird.
so what is going on with that? And another thing that kind of, I'm like, what the heck are you doing this for? The whole movie, she's taking advice from this guy who can't even get a gelato flavor past his dad. Like, he's not even that good at what he's doing.
No.
And she's like, oh, yeah, take me to the fields and let me smell the flavors and the scents. It's like, he's not even that good at what he does. Why are you listening to him? Yeah. So, yeah, I just had a few
It
questions
is
about
very weird now that I think of it that the guy who cannot choose a new flavor of gelato is Mr. Professional Gelato. That is weird.
That is.
It's like my mom did all the flavor choosing. I can't do that, but can I explain gelato to you? And do
Sure.
I know what goes well with what? You bet you. I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
I mean, mine is Frog himself. It is, I always wonder how nicknames take off. Obviously, I've had my hand at nicknames.
You've had your hand at nicknames.
You've obviously
do
had your hand.
get that
Obviously, I've
re-
had my hand at nicknames
get that
before. Call me
recorded?
McNasty,
You've had your name at nicknames
call me
before.
Hallmark Daddy, whatever you want
true.
to.
You got a couple, yeah.
You've
And
had
none
your
of them,
hand.
none of them quite take off despite having my hand. And
And how many fingers you got on those hands? It's still 10?
Yes.
I don't
Oh,
know.
you don't know.
But his name's Frog,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be what the people call him or what he's known by. And I just want to know, did someone say it and the hope that no one like Dan would question it? Like, how did that happen? You're being a real frog right now, Ribbit. And then it just kind of took off. I don't
mean,
know.
Literally any explanation other than the one they gave would have worked, I feel like.
Yeah.
Anything else that you could think of, like,
Maybe he eats flies.
yeah, maybe he eats flies.
Maybe he
That's
drinks
right.
a lot of Budweiser.
Yeah,
Maybe he loves
drinks
frogs.
a lot of Budweiser. Or just change the name to something that sits regularly. Like, it is not known for its hopping.
What's a primarily seated animal? Cat?
Maybe like a sloth? We call him the sloth. He can't stand to drink his coffee. He's got to sit over there.
Maybe, yeah.
And then we find out it's
Let
some
us know in the
sweet story.
comments.
Yeah, you got a good sitting animal?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
FileOut.tv/DTH. Dan?
Yeah, I mean, as you guys know, I've had my hand at.
Yeah.
No,
many
mine
fingers?
was the Bruno thing. We're good.
Thank you.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh,
Yes, we're good.
Great.
Yeah.
We're very excited today. It's time for the Double Decker of the Week, and we have a special Double Decker of the Week that is it's a pre-recorded segment, everybody.
It is a pre-recorded segment. That's our only way out of this.
So let's hit that clip. This is really exciting.
It is.
We've been doing Double Decker of the Week for a long time.
Long
now.
time.
We sure have.
And
On and off.
All of us have.
And
Deep
you,
dives, the whole
Brian,
thing.
have done deep dives. Panda's done deep dives. We've
Yeah.
never had a nomination.
No.
We didn't even know it was actually a thing that someone
We
could
didn't
do.
know
it was
you
allowed.
could nominate someone. But
This
we
would have made
found it out
This would have
today.
made my job a lot easier.
That's
if I
exactly
had
I
just
heard
known.
about this. I couldn't sleep last
That's
night.
right. We got an email from a listener that said that he would like to nominate somebody as Double Decker of the Week, and so we're going to bring him in now. Ryan, can you hear
Ryan,
us?
can you hear us?
Yes, hello guys.
Hey,
Ryan, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me on.
What's your name and where are you from?
We just told you.
I am-
ASL.
Ryan Neal. I am from New York City.
New York City.
New York
And
City.
If somebody's going to nominate a double decker, they have to actually be a double decker, though, right?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to make sure this isn't just some
100%.
freewheeling.
No.
I got to be honest.
Skip Go Daisy.
I have no idea. It
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
Skip Go Daisies. I don't know. But Ryan, I understand that you have someone special in your life that you would like to nominate.
Yes, I would like to nominate Rachel Rogers. She is a longtime Deck the Hallmark super fan. Some of your longtime listeners might know her as the person who recreated some chocolate bars from
Oh,
some
the
Hallmark
Snackers.
movie years
That's
back.
right. That's her.
Oh, yeah.
Man, long
Yes.
time listener.
Yeah,
that's
that's right.
2019. Yeah.
Before me, maybe.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. She's great. She also hung out with us at SantaCon.
That's exactly right. That's
Which is
exactly right. That's a
fantastic.
good nomination, right?
Great
Good
nomination.
nom. Good
Yeah.
nom. Good nom.
Yeah, she braved SantaCon, which is not an easy feat.
So what do we? I understand that you've done the deep dive. What do we need to know about her to really make her Double Decker of the Week?
Sure.
Well, so I first met Rachel back in 2011. Both of us were at the Columbia Journalism School here in New York. We were, kind of friends. We weren't really that close. And she moved to Europe right after graduation to pursue a career as an international journalist. I stayed here in New York, over that time. And I guess I was kind of the Hallmark character that had, big city job and lost the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Not very close. Not too close to my family, wasn't dating anybody, but that changed about 2 years ago when Rachel came back to New York. We met at another journalist's wedding here in Brooklyn, and she just moved back for a new job. And I hung out with her. We had a very competitive game of cornhole.
Yep.
We won't talk about who won, but she knows who won. But we hit it off immediately. I spent the entire taxi ride just thinking to myself, wow, that woman was amazing. She was rad. I really hope I get to see her again. Wow. And from that moment on, we have spent a lot of time together. She knows all about the Christmas spirit. She has got me to decorate trees again at home. We've got ice skating. And I never thought I'd watch a Hallmark Christmas movie, but boy, I've seen a lot of them. And now I even listen to her favorite podcast, which is you guys at Deck the Hallmark. But, most importantly, she's reminded me about how beautiful family is and why it's important to take that time to celebrate with your loved ones. And she showed me how to do that again with her. So I would like to say to Rachel, wherever you are listening to this right now, I really hope it's with me on the couch, but we'll see how it goes. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life building a family with you. And I'd love to ask you, will you marry me?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
A proposal right here on Deck the Hallmark.
Now that's
This is
special.
a Hallmark movie right
That
here.
is
special.
This is what we're in the business of doing here.
This goes in the Hall of Fame, podcasting
Oh my
Hall of Fame.
gosh.
This is
Show
also
them what family was again,
that's
Brand.
very sweet. I'm
Tearful.
fine.
Our producer's in tears.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Brand
fine.
is basically in tears.
Now, what's great about this is we don't know what's
We
going to
don't
happen.
know.
We don't know what
We
she's going
don't
to
know.
say. I think she's going to say yes. I don't know how you say no to that.
I don't know how you say no to that.
That was pretty great. But hopefully, maybe next week, Ryan, you can give us an update
Please.
because that would make this whole thing
Yeah.
just perfect. The perfect Hallmark moment would be you coming back on here and giving us an update. Unless it's a no. If you don't hear from us next week, you know what happened. I'm kidding. Ryan, this was amazing.
This was
Thank you so
unbelievable.
much.
So good.
Wow. How
Oh
about
my
that?
How about
goodness.
it? Made history, I think.
Made history.
History right here.
First ever podcast proposal is what I'm
That's right.
understanding.
I'm
in the
hearing-
history of
yeah,
podcasts.
yeah. That is based upon Aaron Shea's research, correct?
so that's
yes.
pretty special.
What she's doing right now.
Congratulations to those two, assuming,
Absolutely. Yeah.
obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
What a moment. What a moment
So
for them.
What
but
a moment
mainly
for
for us.
podcasting.
For us,
For
yeah.
us mainly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously
One
excited
small
for them.
step.
Step. That's right.
For
man,
but
but
one
giant
giant leap
leap
for
for
podcasters.
The Hallmark podcast.
Yes.
And Ryan, thanks so much for that huge donation you gave to us to make that happen. That was a
Boy.
lot. And we're going to use that money wisely.
We're going to hop in our Maseratis and get out of here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. If you would like to propose to your significant other, you can Venmo us, and then you can email us, and we will make sure that happens.
In that order.
On the air. Venmo us first, and then I promise we will make it happen. We'll be back tomorrow with the season finale of When Calls the Heart. Thursday with a July preview show. And then Friday, the final best of episode of the past year. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas!
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.